Hello and welcome to the first ever episode of the naetopic podcast. My name is Andrew Martin and joining me is my co-host, Kenny Scobie.
Hello.
And this is our pilot episode. Now, naturally with pilot episodes, you're meant to get a good understanding of what the show's practically all about. You know, given that our name is naetopic, we don't exactly have a set standard. So we're going to use this episode to, not only, give you a good idea of what the show's going to be about, but, give you a better understanding of both me and Kenny.
Yeah, explain how me and Andrew know each other and some of the stories that have happened, not in this episode, but in other episodes we're going to discuss the stories that have happened around us, the stories that we've heard, funny ones, and we're going to talk about, movies, games. There is no topic to this podcast. It can be, we're not giving ourselves limitations. That's basically how the name came about with naetopic podcast. Is Nay Scotland. Scottish. I'm already close to clapping to keep this out. We've got the nay is the no in Scotland, so no topic podcast.
For all you international viewers, konnichiwa. To anyone.
No, no, so close to clapping again. We're going to have, this is a little inside for how we're going to edit this, but we're definitely going to have times where we clap, and that'll signify for us, you won't hear it, but it'll signify for us that that's a point where we need to maybe delete what we just said because it's not relevant, or it can be said better or stuff like that. But other than that, it's going to come quite naturally, yeah?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna. We're just sitting, talking about how we know each other in this episode today. So, how do we know each other, Andrew?
Well, it's a good thing you asked me, Kenny, because we've known each other for 10 years.
Yeah, 10 years. Yeah,
10 years is a long time.
Yeah, it is a long time. It is a decade.
A decade indeed.
Mm-hmm.
God, me and Kenny first met in high school.
Which, yeah.
Which sounds
Those
like
were the days.
Sounds like a pretty cliche way to meet someone. It's like, oh, we go way back in like high school. If this was a sitcom, you'd be hearing transition music and it would just be like flashbacks of me and Kenny. I would have an afro and Kenny would have dreadlocks.
Dreadlocks, yeah, definitely. And then we start like cop school or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm not getting that's not right, is it?
No,
that's not right at all. No.
But we're
so close to clapping.
We're keeping that in.
No.
Cop school.
What is cop school?
I don't know. Are you thinking of 22 Jump Street?
Oh yeah. No, because in 22 Jump Street, one of them's got there's Jonah Hill. He's got longer hair.
Oh, right.
And then they both have longer hair. No, Jonah Hill's got.
I was thinking of 21 Jump Street. 22 Jump Street is the sequel.
Yeah. Well, whatever. It's Jonah Hill has blonde hair. He's got like Eminem hair. Yeah, and it's Channing Tatum with the longer hair.
And it's funny because
I don't know why I remember that.
It's funny because I think it was early fifth year or something. I for a while had bleached blonde hair.
And I had super long hair. Wait, hold on. Cop school.
Cop school.
No. Where were we? Right. No, we know each other 10 years. Maths, first year. That's how we.
Yeah.
First year, yeah.
Yeah. Was it just maths that we had classes together?
Well, yeah, because I think maths is the only one where they divided. Like, in high school you had first and second year. You had they put you in the same classes as your registration class.
Yeah, for some of it. But
yeah, some of it. But I think maths was one of the only lessons that was like.
And of course, they mixed up with the later years, because in school you had to social with everybody.
No. It was because some people wanted to do other things and were better at it. That's why we were. I mean. Me and Andrew, we were top at maths, of course. Oh. Really, really good.
Oh, yeah.
No. But
it
doesn't matter.
Yeah, look where we are now.
10 years on.
What has happened in 10 years? Well,
you left high school. You went through all of high school. That's what happens in 10 years, I guess.
Yeah, like, well, I was only in high school for 5 years. You stayed for the whole 6 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I left early to go to college and pursue bigger things.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I failed my first year of college, so that's probably saying something. But I don't regret leaving early. To be honest, at that point, I was just getting sick of it. I just wanted out.
Yeah.
I don't regret it in any way. It was new experience. I got to meet new people.
Yeah, but it's about meeting new people. When I went to college, I've talked to people that I wouldn't normally talk to because you're so used to talking to people the same age as you. When you start talking to like older people, not a little bit older, not, but it doesn't really matter. But like you start talking to people of all sort of different, like you come from different backgrounds, different places and stuff like that. You start to get like a more of a grasp of what the world's like and what people are like and stuff like that. And it's quite nice. Everyone turns up with their own stories. Yeah. Like us in this podcast, we'll have our own stories to tell from our high school sort of years and stuff that happened. And yeah.
Pretty much anything that didn't make it into an In-Betweeners episode.
Yeah. Some of them, some of the stories are quite tame. Some of them I think will be, I guess, they're very
censored for a better word.
Well, yeah.
Nothing too extreme, just...
Yeah, I guess. Nothing too extreme, but certainly plenty of embarrassing stories.
Enough to entertain you, don't... Yeah.
But it won't... It's putting too much emphasis on stories. This can go anywhere with this podcast. It could go to games, to movies, all the things we're interested in.
To cop school.
To cop school.
I'm not letting go of that. That'll be the name of the episode. I'm going to call this Cop School.
Pilot. It's Cop School. Please.
Yes. I think that. No, don't you clap. don't you clap.
Just raise my hands. If only people could see how many times I've raised my hands already. Just so close. We're going to recut this all. No Cop School, no nothing.
Makes you wish that we recorded this, like.
Whether makes you without being a podcast.
No, like a video.
Like a video
podcast.
Well, yeah. I mean, it works for some people. I would say with making a podcast, obviously we talk about how we actually made the podcast. It was your idea. You said to me you wanted to make a podcast and you asked me if I was interested and I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
So,
because we haven't really collaborated on any projects in a long time.
Yeah. Well, me and Andrew back in high school used to, when we were friends in maths, we started being doing like films and stuff. Yeah. And making like short movies and something that we just thought was funny because like at the time when you get like a camera and you're a kid or like you're a teenager, you just sort of like think, oh, I'll film this horror film or I'll film this quick comedy or something like that. Something, like just something interesting. Anything was interesting when you filmed it, pretty much.
Oh, I remember those days pretty well. Because the thing is though, is back in those days, when you're a kid, like the most you would get is like I used to have a PSP sort of camera. That,
I remember.
I've had that since. Well, since I've had my first PSP, which I think I got at the end of primary school, actually.
Yeah.
And that was around the time we started building this accessories. And to me, this was like the coolest thing ever because not only can I take pictures on the go, I could also take videos. And surprisingly, the quality was pretty good for the time. This came out, it was 10 years ago, actually, that the PSP camera came out.
Yeah.
So, for the time, video quality was fantastic. So I could record, absolutely anything because I always had my PSP on me. Like I was attached to the damn thing.
I think it came at a time where like YouTube was like not booming, but like YouTube was booming for like a while. I'm not too sure about it now. There's a lot of things going on with that sort of scene. But I think it comes at a time where like it was like there was loads of like creative people making short films on YouTube and like there was a bit in the market for people doing something like that. And it's not like we wanted to, be the next sort of person that films a short film on YouTube and would be like really interested.
Yeah,
but it was more just a hobby to do in the weekend when you get bored. You just film like a short horror film or something like that. Or
yeah, we weren't exactly going to be like the next Shane Dawson's or Smosh or anything like that.
Yeah.
We're just
at that time they were quite
just two kids, just having a good laugh, having a camera, and it's it's things like that, just made me realize just what I wanted to do in my later life, because, the more we did films, the more passionate we got about it, at least.
And you had friends that were, well, you had a friend that was interested in film, and you met their friends, and that's led on to being in a bunch of their films. And I was in some of we did a series.
Yeah. Talking about my friends Mina and Boris from MMB Arts, good friends of mine. Yeah. I remember when I was because I knew Mina from like early primary school. Well, I say early primary school, more like primary 5. It was a long time ago.
That's late primary school.
Yeah.
That's all right.
I'm just getting old for this shit, yo.
Cop school.
Getting too old for this shit. Me and Mina used to do films as well, but this was bad.
Yeah, I remember seeing some of them.
Yeah.
Actually, they were really good.
They were so good. They were like Oscar-worthy performances and all.
I mean,
that,
so were ours, to be honest. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Do you have any of the old films that we done? Because I don't think I do.
Any old films no, I don't think I have any of them. Unfortunately.
No.
So the episode where we do that will not air. It's not going to happen at all.
Oh, that sucks. Sorry to disappoint you all.
I just leaned on that piano by accident.
Oh. Yeah,
You're not making sounds. Sorry.
Yeah, there's a piano in our recording room when we're recording this. This is actually a very spacious.
Yeah, I have to say thanks to Soundfloor for using their studio. It's really, really nice.
Yep, I think it's Noise Floor actually.
Shit.
It's okay. It's okay. I think they appreciate it either way. Thank you, Noise Floor and Sound Floor, if that exists.
Not you.
Not me.
Whoops.
But I'm sure you're a great company. Please listen to our podcast.
That's the first clap, and this is where we'll be returning to our next topic.
Oh no. I feel like we're going a little off topic, pardon the pun, with our conversation. Anyway, let me just go back to me and Mina used to do films a lot when we were younger. Nothing really too big, kind of just like similar to the stuff me and Kenny did when we were starting out. We did the one thing I think every kid did back around like 2005 to 2007. We made our own Doctor Who series.
No, it was. And Mina.
Yeah, because
we did it, and then you did it with you and Mina. You also did like Sherlock Holmes or something like that as well.
Oh yeah. I think I was the one that wrote the Sherlock Holmes one, and I think Mina was the one that did, because Mina was more of a Doctor Who fan. I think you were more of a Doctor Who fan, because I don't know. I'm not saying.
Yeah, I wanted to do the Doctor Who one.
Yeah, because I sort of just went along with it because I like Doctor Who. I'm just not a big fan.
But I was also inspired by the other. Like, it's another bunch of people that we were friends with.
Yeah.
That at the time. I don't want to like veer off, but if we want to talk about the other, you have other friends like globally, or like even down in England, that at the time were making like videos, and I was inspired by some of their videos. I thought, well, they can do it. And their videos are they were pretty decent.
Yeah.
I mean, they might look back at it now and think, well, we've done better. But at the time, they were like pretty decent. Some visual effects and stuff like that. Like, that was more than what we were doing. I thought, well, they can do it, then we can do it. But we were going to do it through like cheap camera tricks and stuff like that.
Yeah, because that was what really inspired me, just the way it was made. Because, you're looking at all this and you're thinking, well, it's that easy to make. I could probably do it too, but take my own twist in it. And
it wasn't just copying, it was just having your own twist. I mean, speaking as Doctor Who, you could have copied, but like, it wasn't. Still.
Everybody was doing it, we were just like, we're on that bandwagon pretty easy, but yeah. But eventually, I think when we got older, started making more original stuff. Yeah, because it came to, we haven't done films in a long time, but I've still went on and done stuff with Mina and Boris, like. Even to this day, actually, like I haven't done a film with them in about 2 years.
Yeah.
But, I'm still like a hefty supporter. I'll always help out whenever I'm needed and
of
all
course.
that. So, I'm still supporting them, and shout out to you guys. You guys are awesome, and we'll have you on an episode one time. To talk further.
If they want, if they're totally okay with it. I think what you say there is like really good. Along with how you said. You still continued doing like movies and stuff like that. and then it sort of got you inspired, and like you did your own animation back in the day as well.
Yeah.
You have to take that into consideration. Did your own animation, and I was a voice for that. But when it came to sort of like doing Mina and Boris production sort of films and stuff like that, that's where I did like their series and then stopped because I was like, I don't know, I got like busy and like didn't really want to be involved in making films anymore. And so I think that's why when it was not a surprise, it was a little bit of a surprise when you asked me to be your like co-host on this podcast and basically like come together and it's not, where am I going with this? That was our second clap because Kenny completely lost where he was going with it.
That train of thought has left another destination.
This can happen when you do your first episode and it's just the pilot and you're just trying to get a feel for how things are. So bear with us. It's a little bit difficult and it's a little bit nervous, but,
We promise we are good people.
What? Why would you say something like that?
That was the first clap from me.
Another clap from us. That's maybe 3. It could be 10. We could lie. We won't lie. There's another clap. I don't know where I'm going with this completely.
Okay, I've sort of lost my train of thought too.
Completely gone.
This is going to be fun editing.
Right. So we're back with the podcast. We've veered off a few times and went certain directions. That can happen when you don't. It's more like an improvisation and it's your first episode. But like we said, it's the pilot, so bear with us and it'll be okay because we totally know what we're talking about, sort of. Sort of is not a good word to put together, but we sort of know what we're doing.
We have a set idea, but because we're talking about things, we're talking about other things.
Yeah, we can veer off. I guess it's just sort of being like a little bit nervous and a little bit.
It's natural,
yeah,
because we love reminiscing about our past.
Yeah, it happens a lot. It's another sort of reason because a lot of like interesting, funny stuff appears along the way, and when you reminisce about the past. So
we're just taking a long trip down nostalgia lane.
Basically, yeah. So when we'll go back to the Mina and Boris, when you said, "Do you want to do a podcast?" I was thinking because I haven't done like a thing in like a movie or anything like that, like a project. As like sort of a movie's kind of like a short or a movie. It's a little bit. It's like there's ambition there. I've not done something like that in like ages. It's been like, I don't know, years.
6 years, I think.
Something like that. Wow. Well, that's longer than I thought. Actually, it's probably about as long as I thought. Anyway, when you say do a podcast, I thought, yeah, why not? I don't do anything. A podcast would be interesting. I have a lot to say. I speak all the time.
Yeah, plus it's something new, something I've not even done before. And
yeah, it's something that you take. I think I've taken, like I said before, when we did like Doctor Who, I took inspiration from other sort of podcasts that you listen to and like the things that you see and just general, like there's people on YouTube that sit down and they talk and it's a little bit podcasty. No, the types I'm talking about, but that's the kind of thing you see that and you think, well, they've got a lot to talk about and I've got a lot to talk about, so yeah, why not make a podcast?
Yeah, exactly. I've had this idea for a good couple of whiles, taking inspiration from other podcasts. Like I listen to Smodcast, Kevin Smith's podcast series. That's one of my inspirations. 2 of my old college friends, Sam and Matthew. Hi guys, if you're listening to this, by the way. They did a...
You're going to call everyone out?
Yeah, I'm going to call everybody out. Everybody's getting a shout out from one way or another, but...
Even the police squad? Police school? No!
Cop school.
No! Oh, gosh. I can't even get it right, that's the thing. Cop school.
This just keeps getting better and better. Anyway, back on track. They did a movie podcast called S&M Movie Podcast. You should go and check it out, by the way. It's on iTunes.
Does S&M stand for Sam and Matthew?
Yep.
Good.
So, yeah, they just took the initials from their name, and they did about... I can't remember how many episodes they did. They haven't done an episode in over a year, actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I guess sometimes you take a break and then you come back.
Yeah.
That's all right.
So when's the next episode, guys?
And we await their response.
Well, I actually tweeted their Twitter, and to be honest, I don't think...
Then why would you ask here?
Well, They haven't responded.
So you're hoping that but they can't respond through it. Well, they're going to make another podcast, and we're going to have to listen to that to get the response.
Well, I don't know, dude.
That's so good.
I do not know. But anyway, if you're listening to this, thank you very much for listening, and I look forward to the next episode of S&M Movie Podcast.
I thought you were like not cancelling. I thought you were shutting down our show there. I thought you said, thanks for listening, and I was like, are we done? I was like, okay.
God knows, I don't even know how long we've been talking for.
So long that the computer sort of turned itself off. No, it's not. It's still there. Is it still running? How do I know?
I believe it is.
Yeah, because it's got the red.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, let's go way back to I don't even know what I was doing there.
No, neither do I. I don't even know why. Like, I have my hands raised.
Kenny's dabbing in the studio.
No, that's not a dab.
Well, it looked like a dab.
No, it wasn't.
I'm dabbing.
Yeah, I know you are. I can see you. They can't see you.
I dab every day. It's every day, bro.
No, copyright strike. You're not allowed to say that.
Damn you, Jake Paul.
You're not allowed to say that.
Am I?
I don't know. It might be like happy birthday. I think that's copyright strike. Is that a myth?
What, that happy birthday is copyrighted?
Well, apparently.
Apparently
happy birthday is copyright. So every time you sing the song, they're allowed to like something like take money from you. But like they're never gonna catch you.
Oh, that is.
It might be a myth. It might be made up. I don't know.
that is too stupid to be true. If you got sued for singing happy birthday, like imagine if you're imagine if you have like a niece or a nephew, you're at their birthday party and you're singing happy birthday. Hello, yes, we're here to sue you.
Is it the Sue Police? Straight out of cop school.
Okay, seriously. What's with all these random police squads?
I don't know.
Coming out of nowhere. The Sue Police.
The cop school pilot.
You know what? This is probably going to be like a sitcom I'll write one day. You know, like Cop School.
So, other than games and movies and stories, what else do you think what else do you think people could expect from this podcast?
Oh, that is a very good question.
I think obviously the structure of this first episode is going to be a lot different from the structure of other episodes. I think other episodes are going to be sort of maybe not scripted, but more like we're going to have key points and sort of a route that we're going to take.
And we're going to try and stick to those key points as well as we can.
Yeah, I think this first episode is going to be a little bit not all over the place. I was going to say all over the place, but not all over the place. It's going to sort of veer off into other directions because we like to sort of cover all grounds, I guess.
Yeah, you just don't know what to expect. Besides those key points you've already noted on here, like I said, if we get anyone to guest star, they can talk about whatever they want to talk about. And
we can question people that are interested in coming along. It might be that we reach out to them before people, if anybody was interested, reaching out to us in a sense to be on the show.
I see that being the more likely option. But considering even the amount of stories that we have, you know, a good chunk of our episodes could even be storytime episodes.
Yeah, well, I think we could definitely do a few episodes with stories in them, and there would be.
Buckle up, folks! It's going to be a bumpy ride.
Yeah.
But I believe the idea I had of how we could choose our episodes easily is pretty much just pick a label out of a hat with a certain genre, like, you know, movies, games, story time, you know. So it would just be much easier for us instead of
I think it's a good idea to do something like that. But if something's like coming up that you want to talk about, there's plenty of hype in like movie, game industries and stuff like that. And it always sort of gets to people and you feel like you have to talk about it, you want to talk about it and stuff like that. It's only a matter of time. It's September now, September 13th. It's only a matter of time before I'm on the for sort of like hype train, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's only October at the end of October that comes out. And it's one of those films that I'm going to be like hyped about and I'm going to want to talk about and sort of like see your, and you know, what you think about it, and we'll talk about it maybe afterwards. But with no spoilers, of course. This podcast will never have spoilers unless like the movie came out like 10 years ago or like like a year ago, then like there's probably you have to have gone and seen it.
Yeah, 'cause
otherwise you can't really get away with it.
if you haven't seen it, it's your own fault.
Yeah, but we'll always call out spoilers if we ever start talking in the line of things that are spoilers. That would only make sense.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah. So
anyway, why don't we talk more about how we met? Because I feel like we just sort of
yeah, we totally veered off.
Yeah, we're going back to the basics here, folks.
All right. So how other than meeting in maths, what else did we? What other subjects did we have in school?
Well, I'm just thinking because I think we had PE a couple times, but it's not like
Yeah, we were not in like the same class.
Yeah, but most of our classes, going out for PE or going in the gym hall, like I think we had PE around the same time, though, even though we weren't in the same class all the times, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Besides that, for the first 2 years anyway, I think those were all the subjects that we were in. If anything else is
PE and maths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I for the life of me, I can't think of anything else. Oh wait, I think we were in English for second year.
For second year?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah.
Second year we were in English, and then we did SVS in third and fourth year.
Oh yeah, those are some good times. That was around the time we started being in more classes together.
Yeah. Third and fourth year. Yeah, because we had media studies then as well.
Oh yeah.
Media studies was with media. We then realised we're absolutely shit at making films, and no, I'm kidding. I just wanted to say something. I really just wanted to say something like that.
Well, you're not wrong.
So yeah, we had media studies, and that's another clap. Shit! I can't fucking think.
I guess the funny thing to think about with media studies for me personally is when I did media studies at first, I wasn't good at it, but it wasn't until I left school that, I started, analyzing film more, looking at things differently. And every time I do that, I just think back to that 15, 16-year-old in media studies who, and thinking, shit, I could have been a lot better at this.
Well, yeah, like I had media studies in third and fourth year and then did it in sixth year, and there was a clear difference in sixth year compared to third and fourth year, like how I responded to it. I think in like third and fourth year, you're still sort of like maturing as a person. It doesn't take till sixth year where you're just about to leave school. You sort of like realize, like, well, it's not like realize, you might still be a little bit like immature, but you sort of have like a sort of grasp an idea and like see how, well, you've been there for 6 years. I see how education works and how, the world works. So when it comes to like media studies in S3 and S4, I just wanted to fucking not do media studies. I picked it as a subject, expecting to do more filmmaking. Then we do filmmaking, and it wouldn't be like sort of thing that you wanted to do, but you don't always make films that you want to make. You just have to, kick on and get on with it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one thing I pretty much learned in media studies, and when we did do filmmaking in media studies, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. There was a few films that I think that we made, in my sense, the groups that I got and the way it was done, they weren't very good. But some of them were, I would say, pretty decent. I had fun making them.
Yeah, there was clearly a lot of passion put into our projects. Not doubt that we were put in a group, lots of creative people.
Your microphone just fell.
Fuck. Did it just fall just now?
It was been falling for a little bit. Been watching it.
Well, I guess we'll find out in post if it fucked up the audio.
It won't have.
Yeah, I am pretty sure it won't. We are back again.
We're back again. This time it was a mic problem on Andrew's end, but not his fault. But it's okay now. We sorted it.
Take two. Anyway, I guess the good thing about us being in media studies is, we got to experience working with other people besides ourselves in filmmaking.
Yeah.
Even if they didn't, choose to carry on filmmaking as a further career. Like, even I'm not doing it, but it's nice to meet people with different passions and work with them. And for what it's worth, even if I wasn't really 100% satisfied with the end project, thinking back now, it was. I think the films were more enjoyable than good.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna say anything I made in high school was a masterpiece. If I did that.
Yeah, I did say good earlier on. I probably meant enjoyable.
Yeah. Yeah, and that reminds me of the film that we did for filmmaking in Activity Week.
Yeah, so we did make a film in an activity week. It's probably something that we'll talk about in a further podcast instead of talking about right now.
Yeah, we won't go further into it. We'll just hype you up just now, but I have to say this is definitely one of my favorites things that me and Kenny have made in high school. And for the life of me, if there was any film I want to find again, it would be that film.
It would be good to have your hands on that film again. It was funny.
I am gonna try high and low to try and find a copy of that.
If that film gets found, we will react to watching it for the first time
in God knows how long. I think
on this show,
yeah.
But we'll do a video special.
Yeah.
So I think we've heard a lot about how, we've veered off and we've heard a lot about how things went in high school. I think we should maybe move towards how things are right now. So as a person right now, what happened when you left high school? Like, you went on and did college, we heard about that, but like, you've got a job?
Yeah, I've got a full-time job now.
You've got a job, you've got a fiancé?
Yeah, I'm engaged now.
Yeah, so those are big.
Yeah.
Those are big things that are going to get talked about again later on in the podcast. Right now, it's just about getting to know who we are. And I feel we've veered off and gone off topic and gone to many different places, which will happen a few times and every now and then. Like I said, that's the way a pilot is, and probably the way our show will be. So
there is no set structure, just us yabbing our mouths and seeing where we take.
Yeah, so for me, I've gone on through school, done so many different subjects, and now I go to college, and I'm in my last year at college doing web design.
That's right. You've been in college since you left school, like all the past 4 years. You've just been in college.
It's 5 years. The end of this year.
Oh yeah,
5 years of college.
Yeah, because it's been 5 years since I left high school, and I did my first year at college. I unfortunately never passed that course. Not a big deal now because I moved on. Took a year off. Went back to college again.
Yeah.
Then I left college again I was in and out of jobs for a little while, getting some money, getting some experience, living a little, and then I went back to college one more time.
Yeah.
And I actually passed that course. Then got onto the HND.
Congrats, it's good.
Yeah. And now I've got a full-time job, and I know got a lovely fiance. Hi Megan, if you're listening to this.
You're gonna call everybody out.
You're goddamn right I am.
Oh.
I'll try not to make too much of a habit about that. Try and make it as subtle as possible so you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
For
the first episode, everything in the pilot can be a little bit different, and as it goes along, it changes.
Maybe a little more awkward than usual, but then again, you don't know what to expect from this show.
Yeah. Well, you sort of know what to expect. I think our topics are like, we're going to go to other places, but I think the topics are going to be very much like movies, games, like nerdy things that we're just interested in, and like other people will probably like be interested in hearing about maybe what our opinions are on things and that kind of stuff.
We're appealing to the geek culture, y'all.
Pretty much. It's hard not being a geek. I just sort of...
everybody's a geek deep down. They just don't want to admit it. Maybe they want to admit it, but back then maybe they didn't.
Yeah. So I did high school, then went on to do digital media at level 4, then I did level 5, then I did level 6, then I did first year of web development, and now I'm doing second year web development, which sounds really, really long, and trust me, it is very, very long process.
You've been there for a long time.
Yeah, but it's good. I've learned a lot in that roles and how things work, and I'm sort of looking forward to making a more professional looking web page, and I'm very much looking forward to the end of my academic years of learning. I mean, you'll always learn, but I've done like 5 straight years of college. You sort of look forward to like having a break and moving on and working eventually.
Not to mention merge that with your high school years.
Oh yeah, it's a long time. And then primary as well.
So if you think about it...
Never stopped. I never stopped.
7,
learning.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17. You have been studying for about 18 years.
It's a long time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
I mean, I actually went to primary school when I was 4, I think, back in the day. You were able to... Because I was like... Or maybe I went when I was 5. What was it? Well, you meant to be 6 when you went to primary school.
5. I was 5 when I went to primary school.
Then I was 4, I think. I was just 4 because I have like a late birthday. That's how it sort of worked at the time. Yeah. Back in like the early 2000s or whenever it was.
I used to think the primary school age gap was like between 5 and 12. I didn't know you had to be 4. You could be 4 years old in primary school.
I don't know. Maybe I'm totally wrong. I think I heard it ages ago, but.
Then again, when I was in P7, we had a guy who was in our class. I think he was 13 actually, and you know, thinking back now, that's kind of unheard of. A 13-year-old in primary school.
I don't understand what that's about, but okay.
I don't know. It kind of made me jealous because I was the oldest in the class, and then this guy comes in and he's like, "Yo, I'm 13." I'm like, "Oh, for fuck's sake."
Maybe he lied.
Yeah, probably lied.
I don't know why you would be so hyped and happy about being the oldest in the class.
Because I felt the wisest, even though I was pretty much a dumbass in primary. I felt the wisest because my age is like, yeah, but I'm the oldest. You know, I respect your elders.
You have to come to me before you make any decisions.
No, I don't. No one took my ass seriously in
Yeah,
primary
right,
school.
well,
No one takes my ass
I'm
seriously.
not saying
now.
they did. I'm just saying that's probably what you said.
That does sound like something I would say, though I don't remember.
Okay. That's what you have to expect when we're doing the podcast. Every now and then there'll be a few cuts with a clap. You won't hear it, but that's us sort of cutting into the next part. We might use a sound effect. Who knows? Post-process afterwards. That's not the word.
No, it's not the word
It's not the word at all. That's something else. Forget that. You know what I mean. You know what I mean.
We all know what you mean.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just going to make words up as we go along.
Your words are weapons.
But that's kind of how our first episode of this podcast is going to go. We're going to have better structure to the podcast. We're going to have more of a layout of how things are going to go. We're going to have less of this clap cuts that'll help us edit later on.
Yeah, that was just sort of like an improvised move from both of us.
Yeah, improvised idea of how to know when to edit the video.
So yeah, I believe everybody has a good understanding of who we both are as people.
Yeah.
That was the first episode of the Naetopic podcast. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will be back next month with another episode. Our episodes are going to be released on a monthly basis. For our first season anyway, we're thinking of doing how many episodes? Like 10 episodes a season?
It was 10 a season, so once per month for 10 months. Then an end of season.
When we come back to do a second season, you know, if our podcast become, like, I'm not going to say it explodes, I'm not going to get my hopes up, but, you know, if it becomes big, then we'll probably look to up our episodes to once a month to twice a month.
Yeah.
You know, if the demands are high, if people really love hearing us talk, like...
Well, just hearing us talk and what we're talking about, what our interests are, and if they match their interests and our opinions on how things are and the stories that we have to tell, all that kind of stuff. Yeah,
because we have a lot of stories. We're going to get you guys hyped.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to what future this podcast holds. So this has been our pilot episode of the Naetopic podcast. Once again, thank you for listening in, and hopefully we'll see you next month. I'm Andrew Martin.
And I'm Kenny Scobie.
Have a wonderful week.